I'm going to try an experiment today. I turn the little screen off. We'll see. Worst comes to worst, we get part of the day. Welcome to 243. Woo! There we go. Talking about. How many guys done after this, math-wise? This is it, 243, and we're out of here. A couple of you. 244.
244 and 241 too.
And 241, business.
Yeah.
Must be business. Hi, come on in. If you want to. Yeah, come on in. Stay a while. And 41, that's business. We got some business folks?
Yeah.
Couple, right? 241. Good. When are you taking 241? Soon?
Well.
Spring.
243, 244,
241
somewhere. Yeah, probably 241.
And you can, if you're so inclined, you can take 241 with the other ones.
I think I have to, yeah.
You can. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, if you have to schedule-wise,
I
yes.
have to, yeah.
But don't feel like you have to mathematically.
No, not mathematically. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering if I could take them sometime.
You can.
Both of them.
You can. 243 needs to precede 244, but 241 you can take it summer.
They only offer one section for each term. So.
There's not that many students that need it,
Yeah.
which is the unfortunate reality of 241. There's just it's business calculus, so that's just the business majors that are going to take the AAS transfer, and not even all schools in Oregon require business calc anymore. So, yeah, there's just not that much of a demand. Not like 243, there's always a demand for it. So, because I think a lot more programs are requiring stat classes now. Yeah. So like can I see hands for 244 again? I'm sorry, who's taking 244? Are you guys planning on doing it next term?
Yeah.
Is that the lion's share? Anybody not planning on taking it next term? Just trying to get an idea for numbers, so a couple of you. But the lion's share of you are thinking about, at least for right now. I'll ask you as the term goes on, as you get more of a solid idea, just so we know how many sections to offer.
Okay.
Because it's tricky. We're finally getting good at knowing how many sections of 243 to offer. For years, when the enrollment was spiking, we were terrible at it because there were too many variables to measure. We couldn't measure them well. But now I think we're finally getting to the point where we can know how many 243s, but 244 tends to evade us. We ended up adding sections sometimes. I think we're getting it. But I'll keep asking. It seems to be the best way to find out how many we need. So, 243, Stat 1. Yes. Intro to Stat 1. This is fantastic. This is one of my favorite classes here at COCC, by and large. Today, all I want to do is go through our syllabus, and then I've got a bit of a primer to get your brains thinking statistically. Those of you guys that have 105, you've got a jump start, because I've already made you think that way tortured you for that 10 weeks and made you think that way. But if you've never taken a stat class before, which I'm assuming is most of you, it's a new way of thinking. Whatever math class you took last, you did more math in that class than you will do in this class. Woo. I mean, by and large. Wow! Applause. Holy crap.
That was a lot of
No
math.
tears, not one tear. not one, oh, I want to do more long division. No. Good, very nice, yes. Hardly any mathematics in here. A little bit, here and there, smattered throughout. The level of critical thinking, though, is off the charts compared to your last math class. Because your last math class was like, factor this binomial. And this math class is like, should I trust that report over there that tells me I shouldn't take my 3-glucosamine, I should take 2-glucosamine every day because I'm going to get bone built up on my knee joints and cause me to be, arthritic when I'm 60. Should I even trust that report? Like that's the kind of question that gets answered in this class. Or at least the kind of question that leads to more questions in this
It's
class.
horrible. It's not nice. Now
It's not
I just
nice.
ask questions all the time. More questions.
No, Tiffany, this is a beautiful thing. Students often tell me I ruin them by the end of the term. I ruin them because they can't ever watch the news the same way. Because anytime they watch the news, they now question everything that's coming at them. You should do that. You should do that anyway. And this is the first of many, many classes, hopefully, that will show you exactly what questions to ask, or at least some of which questions to ask. Because there are many, many more out there. Some of you guys won't even stop with 244. Some of you guys will take junior and senior level statistics courses, which are phenomenal, just absolutely phenomenal, and give you more questions to ask and more kind of things more doors to knock on. So this is the beginning, for sure, the beginning. So speaking of the beginning, let's just go through the syllabus. Everything's online as far as syllabi go. No, that's wrong. I changed it. So you go to cocc.edu/srule. That's the parking map. Let me get to my syllabus. I apologize. My syllabus page is not optimized for mobile browsing yet. I apologize. I still code in 1995 HTML. Much to the chagrin of the entire IT department here at school, it's like everybody's on board except for like me and Bruce Emerson. We're like, no, I'm gonna code it in HTML, blah. So, my apologies for those of you trying to use your phones to find your homework on here. You can do it. It's just not the most. It's not like going to Amazon. So, for lots of reasons, obviously. So up here, you've got all my contact info. Math moved. Those of you that were used to going to the math department in Pioneer, we're up the hill now in Grandview. So get a workout on all of us. Well, it's great because now all the part-timers, all the adjuncts, all the full-timers are in one floor of one building, which is phenomenal. I started being all over the place. So we're all up there on the second floor of Grandview, which is phenomenal. My commute went 100 more vertical feet on my bike. I go from 3,400 feet to 4,100 feet. It's going to be awesome. Total fit payouts are off the charts already. 226 is my office. Office hours are down here. They're pretty good for you guys, actually. They're not so good for my Tuesday, Thursday classes. But as far as Monday, Wednesday, they start at 12:30 and they'll run either today like to 2:30 or Wednesday to 3:30. I had to front load them onto Monday and Wednesday for reasons I'll explain as we go through the day. It's unfortunate. I'd like to have them more spread out over the week. But the reality of open source text and having a 6-year-old in kindergarten kind of preclude that. So, and I'll explain more about the open source text as we go. Some of you understand having a 6-year-old in kindergarten. And if you don't, you might at some point. So let's see, that's office hours. If you can't get to office hours, you can always email me. It is amazing, especially with the little bit of mathematics we have to do in this course, it's amazing what we can communicate via email. You can get almost everything answered via writing back and forth or talking back and forth on the phone. You don't have to worry about special symbols or anything like that like you had to worry about in algebra classes, exponents. Well, exponents exist, but there's ways around that using the email formatting. So, amazing what we can get done via email. If you give me an email, I guarantee you get a response within 24, if not quicker than that, 24 hours. So, I check it constantly while I'm at work and sometimes at home too. So, cool so far? At any point today, interrupt me if something's not clear or if you want something repeated or said a different way. And that doesn't just go for everything, it goes for pretty much the next 11 weeks we have together as well. All right, I'm Sean. Did I introduce myself? I'm Sean. Hi, there's me. That's me 10 years ago. Got a little more gray hair now. My nose, I think, got larger. But I can't get rid of the picture. I love it. You guys are here. Yeah, that's us. Monday, Wednesday, 10, 15, 12. I like to kick you out for about 45 minutes to make you walk around, flush some blood, get some air. This room already feels warm to me. How's it for you guys? Feel okay? It's warm already?
It's hot. Yeah.
It's like it's warm already. It's hot. Yeah, we'll crack. It's tricky. I used to be able to finagle this room. I can still do it. If I can breathe onto that thing, I might be able to get the AC to turn on. You can kind of. I used to be able to hang a bag of ice from it to turn the heater on, and breathe into it to turn the heater off. I'll see if they may have fixed that in the past 10 years. We'll see. We can always open the windows. I'm always nervous opening the windows because sometimes that makes it feel colder, then the heat kicks on even more.
Yeah.
So we'll try to learn this room together as we by the end of 2 weeks we'll have it all figured out. CRN, probably don't need that. Here's where we are. Pretty much today, I want to make sure we get through this course information. That's my deal today, is to make sure you guys understand the syllabus. That'll take about an hour and 15, and then whatever time we have left, I have that little brain kind of primer for stat thinking. So click on course information. Let me write these links down. So this is the main page, if you will, the syllabus, and the big link is the course information. I tried to make that font larger. I cannot understand the new web editor, probably because I'm stuck in 1995. So it's not as big as I would have hoped it to be, kind of get your attention. I don't use Blackboard either, just so you know. A lot of students try to find me in Blackboard. There might be something in there, but it's empty. I'm an educational socialist. I don't believe in locking any of this stuff behind passwords, which is great because I get emails once or twice a year from people in Germany and France. This guy from France sent me the most beautiful statement in French. And I was like, I don't know what the hell it says. And I tried to put it in Google Translate, it didn't work. And I found a French student, and the guy, he said, I'm going to murder this, but he said, if the politicians of the world were as generous with your time as you are with your educational materials, imagine what kind of a world we could live in.
Wow.
And I was like, cheer, like bawling at my desk. And it was in French, so it looked beautiful, you know? It just looked beautiful. So I can't lock stuff behind passwords. I have to have it out for everybody to use. And that goes for you guys, of course, as well. And I love it because students in other classes, other stat classes will use this. So anyway, that's just the way I am. This is just more information, texty kind of stuff. Prop stat 1. And the yellow over there, that's the main. If you've had me in class before, you can take a nap for the next like 45 minutes. It hasn't changed much since if you had me in class before. That is what I want to go through today. That's your syllabus, if you will. Each one of those would be like a page of the syllabus that you get handed on the first day. So I kind of want to just wander through. We'll bounce back and forth quite a bit. By and large, the most important one is the schedule. And you have me before in class, you chime in if I say something like, no, Rule, you meant to hit that. Just let me hit it, please, share that information. But this is where the majority of what you need to concern yourself with lives. So let's click on that. And it's a lot to look at first. It's a lot of reds and yellows. I remember reading a couple research studies. The reason McDonald's uses red and yellow in its arches is because those are the colors that immediately draw your eyes to them, more than more neutral colors like blues and greens. So I took that to heart and designed a very McDonald's-esque schedule page.
Actually, the combination of those colors helps you commit things to memory.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
I didn't know that.
I changed
That's
the
my biggest
label.
out of the day blog item. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Put that up there.
And if you go real quickly back and forth, you get orange, which is a very nice color.
Yeah, so if you're
Sorry, Ducks
like
fans,
looking
sorry.
through
I'm
your
from Delaware. I
notes,
really don't care. I'm from Delaware. I don't.
if you're looking through your notes, you can use the yellow highlighter and then underline with red, and that will help
Interesting.
commit to memory.
I never heard that before. This is wonderful. And then how do we know this? How do we know this?
Behavioral research.
How did they discover through statistics? How do you think? How do you think that was tested? I love this statement. How do you think it was tested? What do you think? Say that again.
Several people doing that
Mhm.
thing and then saying what the results are of each person.
Sure. Do you think all of them got the yellow highlighter red underline? I'm guessing.
Pink, blue, yellow.
Oh,
yeah.
you're thinking ANOVA. I was just thinking t-test. Very nice. This is very nice. I'm thinking we've got, let's say 100 people. And we take 50 of them and make them learn a task. And the other 50 have to learn the same task, but they are instructed to do it with the yellow and the red highlight. They both study for a prescribed period of time. They're identical in every way as much as they can be, with the exception of the red and yellow highlighting and underlining versus the not. Then they take the assessment, and what happens at the end of the assessment?
You have quantifiable results. to
According to
compare.
this claim, the people that did the red and yellow highlighting, if that truly is the only thing measured differently, scored significantly higher on the assessment than those who didn't. I mean, this is what this course is about, friends. That kind of a claim and why that kind of a claim exists. Now, what's cool is going back and looking to see if that was actually done, or if it was just like, yeah, I read it on Facebook. You know, because that happens too. We'll talk about that, if not today, on Wednesday. Cool?
Yeah.
Good so far? Good. So it is a bit nauseating. If you look, this is the entire term.
Whoa.
So you see a lot of orange there as I scroll down. So, and if anybody, please, if anybody has a better idea for how to present this, rather than like this, here's my requirements. I need all my classes on one page like this. And if anybody's got a better idea than this to do it, I've messed with it in the past and students say, no, put it back to the nausea-inducing red and yellow. If anybody's got a better idea, just email it to me. I'll be more than happy to futz around with it and code it up. But it's not as bad as it looks. Well, maybe it is. But as far as what you're responsible for, it's not as bad. Because you guys are right here. It's vertical. It goes vertical. So Monday of week 1, that's what we're doing today. Wednesday of week 1 is down here. More on that in a minute. And so forth and so on. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, I've got each week blocked off with a yellow header. So week 1, week 2, week 3, and so forth and so on. So forth and so on. Under the week 1, I've put administrative stuff in red. So the first week, there's not much to talk about other than just make sure you look at this page and see when things are due. I've got every possible due date up there already. Every due date's up there already with some caveats, which we'll come to in the next 10 minutes. I also linked the library tutoring schedule for you. By all means, get in there. Oh, I forgot to ask you guys. Is the light okay like that, or is it better like that? Is that better? I'm sorry, I should have asked that at the beginning, so we'll do this. So, you got your tutoring schedule. Let's click on this. Yes, let's. Where is testing and tutoring center?
Library.
Where in the library?
Basement.
Very nice. The garden level, as they call it.
That's right.
The garden, I love that, the garden level. The basement of the library, testing and tutoring, and that's where math and stat are. Just so you know, FYI, there are lots and lots of little tutoring areas around campus. Most of them live in the basement of the library, but there are some I've just noticed now. We've got tutoring annex, first floor of the library, so that's upstairs, not the basement. You've got some in the science building now. You've got some in the GIS lab. So any course you need tutoring in exists. It might not be there. So check this page to find out where it is. For you guys, though, your stat tutoring is right here. And they've got it split down. Kelly is so good. She split tutoring between 243 and 244 because certain students are not comfortable tutoring 244. They get through 243, they like it, but the inferential bit of 244 kind of freaks them out a little bit. So that's good to know. So if you guys have 243 questions, you want to hit these folks here. And you've got some nice hours. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, essentially 8 to 9. It's really, really nice. It's lacking a little bit on Fridays. But I mean, honestly, you've got tons of hours. I mean, 12 hours a day at least, it looks like. Great tutors. Try to avoid going to the math tutors for stat help. Only because I've had some blowback in the past. It's kind of like going to a Spanish tutor for Portuguese. Like there is overlap, but it's not perfect congruence. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like that. Statistics is a different language than math. It's definitely different. It's got common roots, but it's definitely, especially the way I do the course. So try to hit stat tutors instead of math tutors, if you can help it. You can always email me. That's probably going to be the most, if you can get me as quickly as you need to get me, that's going to be your quickest solution. The trick is if you can get to me as quick as you need to get to me. Like if you need something done in 5 minutes, that might be trickier than if you need something done by tomorrow. So anyway, there's your garden level of the library. So there's your tutoring. So I try to put that kind of administrative stuff in the red areas under the week headers, week 1, week 2, week 3. So there's like the drop deadlines are in there, and the midterm grade deadlines are in there, and when I change office hours for exam week, it's in there. Stuff like that. Cool so far? All right, fantastic. Let's just take a quick look down at the entire. If it's okay with you guys, I'm going to crack some windows. I can feel it getting warmer. I don't think it's going to get better as I talk. See, and you guys, let me know if you hear the heater come on. I'll start heavy breathing into the sensor. And you guys, if it gets cold, close it. Let's try to make it comfy. Wow, look at that. Yeah, so here's today. Here's what we're doing today. Okay? Now, if you'll notice, you scroll down to Wednesday, and it says quiz due. Okay, then we scroll over to Monday, it's blank. You scroll to next Wednesday, quiz due. Monday after that, blank. Wednesday after that, project due. Monday after that, blank. Wednesday after that, exam. So you're seeing these red boxes pop up. What's the correlation? Red boxes, something is due. Right, something is going to be due, whether it's a quiz or a project or an exam or something. What else have you noticed as we've gone down there kind of quickly?
Mondays, we don't have anything to do.
Monday's nothing to do. Sort of looks like, right? Sort of looks like.
For the first 3 weeks.
for the first half of the class, you just stay home on Monday. No. Why are those Mondays blank, do you think? And if you haven't been in class before, you know exactly why they're blank. But if you haven't had me before, why do you think those days are blank? And just so you know, this isn't, well, that's, exam's a little bit of a different story, but like this project being due up here and this quiz being due, those aren't the only 2 things going on that day. So what's going on with the schedule page? The schedule page should have stuff on it, right? Like stuff we're going to learn. Why don't I have it in there?
You have to click on it.
Well, there's nothing to click on right now.
You can, you can go up to the top, and then go back to the yellow box.
Oh, these guys.
Yes.
Tiffany, very good.
Yes.
Hold that thought. Give me 10 minutes on that thought. How many of you have had a class where you walk in the first day like today, they hand you a syllabus, and every topic for the class is on there with the date you're going to do it?
Yep.
Okay, that happens, right? It happens. What happens inevitably? One of 2 or 3 things. Give me one of 2 or 3 things that happens inevitably as that course goes on. Tell me what's right. You get out of sequence because things happen. You guys have other questions that might take longer than I would have planned it to happen. So we get out of sequence, and then what do we have to do? We got to Yeah,
Shuffle.
and that's that in education. That makes my stomach turn. The whole catch-up idea. I'd much rather rewrite the syllabus and say, okay, everything gets pushed back now, and maybe we have to lose a topic because that's okay. But the other thing that often happens is we catch up. As Patrick said, we catch up, and we shove stuff at you quickly in order to cover it. The 5-letter word that I hate the most in education: covering something. No, we uncover things in this class. We don't cover things. So. What I do is I don't put any kind of a schedule in at all. I got a ballpark idea of where we'll be, say, in week 5-ish. Within a day, probably, plus or minus 1 day, standard deviation of 1 day of where we're going to be. But I don't know for certain. So other than this first day, I know we're going to do this. I know we're going to do this. But on that day down here, this Wednesday, I know we're going to start doing what I've called the introduction to problem statistics. And we'll probably finish it, most likely, but we might not. If we do, then I'll put that in there, that we finished it. I'll have a link to some problems that I want you to look at to reinforce that topic. And on Monday, we'll pick up the next thing. If we don't, we'll revisit it on Monday, finish it up, then start the next thing on Monday. So in other words, it's a flexible, if you will, a flexible schedule. I know what we're going to do, if you will. I'll real quick go to this. We're going to do this. That's our course broken down in 9 discrete areas. That's what we'll do over the next 10 weeks together. I just can't tell you for exact what day of what week outliers is going to show up on, or what day of what week the binomial distribution shows up on. It'll be in there, right? Like a recipe. I just don't know exactly what order the things go in. By the time you're done, we'll have done most of this. Sometimes we have to drop this depending on schedules and snow. If this is any indication of how the winter's going to go, we are in for a hell of a winter.
Yeah.
But it's bent. It could be 80 degrees all winter. Who knows? Exactly, Tim. So this is our course. I just can't tell you for exactly which topic gets done on what day. Just realize that you'll have these linked in that schedule page. By the end of the term, the entire schedule page is filled in with what we did where. I just don't exactly know where it's going to be right now on these 6. Is that fair? You guys live with that?
Yeah.
I think you can. And I'll keep it updated. Every day I have my little Outlook reminder, bing, update the schedule page. Oh yeah, that's right. Go in and do it. Cool? Good. Back out here. So these blank days are not really blank days. They're just blank placeholders for whatever we're going to do. I have a gut feeling that right there next week we're going to be doing central tendency. We might finish it, we might not. And if we finish it, great. If not, it carries over into Wednesday, and we pick up variation after that. And we'll make it all work, as we always do. Cool? Any questions so far? All right. Anything nagging at you so far from this? Not so far? If it does, just ask. Please keep those questions coming. We're still recording. Okay, so how many of you are nervous there's a quiz due on Wednesday? A little bit, maybe. If you had me in class last term, you're not at all, because it's the same quiz you guys took then. But if you did, don't worry. We'll alleviate that too. I want to, before we get into the quizzes, though, I want to back out real quick and talk about materials. This is a little bit interesting. How many of you guys went to the bookstore to try to buy a book for this course? Good. Hopefully you're pleasantly surprised that there is none. But there is. It's just free. It's online. Here it is. That's your textbook. It's called Collaborative Statistics. It's an open source textbook. This, I told you, I'm an educational socialist. The textbook market pisses me off almost as much as password-protected educational materials, if not more. Because at least with password-protected educational materials, they have to keep themselves up to date because the industry forces them to. Textbook manufacturers every 2 years put a new cover, put new pictures on the same material, and make you pay $200 and buy another one. And they won't let you use the old one because they take it out of circulation. This infuriates me as an educator. So I've started to work with these lovely ladies, partially rule, with these lovely ladies down in California towards their collaborative textbook, which is called Collaborative Statistics. It's a wonderful, wonderful little guide. You can buy it if you want. I got the link there if you want to actually purchase it. It's got an ISBN, so you can look for it online if you want an actual physical copy. You do not need to have a physical copy of it. For $243, we're going to use roughly half of it, if that, maybe a third of it. So I don't think buying it makes a whole lot of sense. Feel free to print what you need, I would imagine. I think there's some kind of a Creative Commons license, but I don't know what it is. The reason why it's partially ruled is each Friday, I mentioned office hours being kind of limited. Each Friday, I'm going to be recording videos to go along with certain parts of the book and certain homework assignments. Not the videos like right now, which we're going to have posted for you guys, but actually videos tied to certain problems in the text and certain ideas in the text. So just, again, one more level of learning based on kind of off the Khan Academy principle. The idea that sometimes reading something isn't the best way of learning, and sometimes you have to see somebody doing something. So Friday, a big chunk of my Fridays is going to be devoted to doing just that for all three of my classes, 105, 243, and 244. Please.
Does that book carry over to 244?
It does. It's the same book I'm using in 244. So you don't need, and I'm pretty sure Donna's using the same book in both of her classes. Donna's the other stat instructor. And she started using this last year. I started it this year. As far as I know, she hasn't changed it. So you've got yourselves for the next 2 courses a free textbook, which is just makes me very, very happy. And in 105 we had Larson's, so you've got 3 classes in a row with no price tag on your textbook, unless you want to buy it, in which case you purchase it. But make sense? Okay. So that's your textbook, or lack thereof, I guess. As far as the calculator goes, I am going to have you guys using Excel from time to time in this course. If you've never used Excel before, I saw some eyes get very panicky right there. I'm going to assume you've never used Excel before in your life. And I've written the assignments as if that were true, as if you've never used Excel before. Because there's no Excel prerequisite for this course, right? It doesn't say you have to know how to use CIS 120 or 131. But I do want you to use it, because I think somebody going out of a statistics course and never using Excel is just silly. I mean, it's a great way of, it's got its limitations, but it's also a great way of visualizing data and crunching data. But for in-class, since we're not in a computer lab, I noticed a bunch of you guys have your TI 83s and 84s. Fantastic. That's fantastic. If anybody has different models besides the 83 and 84, just let me know to make sure I have the correct. I know the 86 pretty well. I'm learning the 92 okay, and the 89. Actually, the 89, the 92 got canned. They stopped making that one. Does anybody have like a Casio or anything weird like that? You guys pretty much have 83s and 84s as far as that. Yeah, I'm assuming. How many of you guys just took 111? Yeah, I'm sorry, by the way.
Yeah, that was
Sorry, you survived it. You survived it though, and you're here. Yes, yes. But if you took 111, the chances are you used it quite a bit in there.
Yeah.
We'll learn a whole new set of menus in this class. It kind of springboards off of what you learned in 111, but definitely it's a nice. Since you already have it, I don't want you not to use it since you already have it. If you don't have one, couple options. Check Craigslist, check eBay. You won't need one immediately. I mean, the next couple of weeks you want to have one. Check